Hey, I, Zach Wolf, am trying out this experiment. What I kinda did 10 years ago, but this time on a more period-appropriate computer. What I'm doing today is making a YouTube video very much in the same vein someone would have done 20 years ago. I'm shooting it on MiniDV standard definition format in the 4:3 aspect ratio. Since YouTube didn't natively support 16:9 video until November 2008, the period appropriate computer I'm going to edit it on is this 2006 Core Duo iMac using iMovie HD6. This is the final version of iMovie to use the classic timeline interface before being completely redesigned and revamped the following year. It's still pretty neat, but a few processes are clumsier compared to the current iMovie or even Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. Additionally, when you were making videos on a Mac 20 years ago, your software choices were a bit more limited. Granted, iMovie was a pretty capable program back then, but if you wanted multiple video tracks and built-in compositing and better color correction and audio editing, then you had to either spring for the $300 Final Cut Express HD, or if you were editing professionally, i.e. for television or film, then you'd likely go with the even more expensive Final Cut Studio, compared to Windows users who get a whole variety of different consumer and hobbyist-based video editing applications to choose from. It just costs around $100 to give them way more features than what Windows Movie Maker could do. And today, Mac users do indeed get some similar options for going beyond iMovie in a fairly affordable manner, with Mac-compatible versions of Adobe Premiere Elements, Cyberlink Power Director, and Wondershare Filmora, along with the rewritten Final Cut Pro now only costing $300 for a permanent license version. As for the camera, unfortunately I had to say goodbye to my 20-year-old Canon Optera 60 camcorder a while back after it began breaking down. So I'm taking a creative liberty by using my Canon Vixia HV40 HDV camcorder set to standard definition DV mode. The picture quality is still a step up from a Canon ZR or even Optera DV camcorder of the time. But I still have to use an external microphone attachment since the onboard mic can pick up the slight whirring of the tape mechanism as it's recording. But 2006 is when consumer-aimed HDV camcorders began to appear on the market, such as the Canon Vixia HV10 and the Sony HDR HC3, and with consumer versions of video editing software began to implement high-definition support. So an iMovie HD had it at the time, hence the name, iMovie HD. But YouTube was still standard definition only at that time, since the average household internet connection couldn't really support streaming high-definition video yet. But when these Intel Core Duo iMacs were first introduced over 20 years ago, they were very YouTube-friendly, being able to handle streaming standard definition video very well. And this was back when YouTube used the Adobe Flash system for their video playback. This is the baseline Intel iMac with a 17-inch display, a 1.83 GHz Core Duo processor, and a 160 GB hard drive, ATI Radeon X1600 graphics, 128 MB dedicated video RAM, and the system RAM is maxed out to 2 GB. Coupled with iMovie being preloaded onto the system, it made it perfect for amateur video making. Heck, if you were up to the task, you could even record a simple vlog or whatever using an iMac's built-in iSight webcam. Yeah, 20 years ago, Apple was really marketing the fun factor of Macs, specifically the teleconferencing software previously known as iChat AV, iTunes for making music playlists and burning mix CDs, the iLife suite, including the aforementioned iMovie, along with iPhoto for organizing and editing your digital photos, GarageBand for making music and podcasts, and the short-lived iWeb for creating your own websites, along with the old Front Row application that works similarly to the Media Center in some versions of Windows XP and 7 for playing back music and movies. Today they don't do that as much anymore in their promotional material. With the modern Apple Silicon Macs, Apple promotes how well they perform without consuming much energy, regardless of whether you're doing work or play. Touting with the Mac can be used for both work purposes and for fun, which is all too true from my experiences. Interesting how the more something's changed, the more they stay the same. In this aspect of producing videos on the Macintosh too. So anyways, keep watching this channel, see what else I or meet my other Toon friends here have to show off.